I just wanted to do a quick comparison between the Spyderco Dragonfly and the SOG Flash 1. Personally, I was looking to buy one of these knives, and I actually couldn't find a decent comparison between the two. Granted, they kind of fall in a similar price range. This one being around the $30 ballpark, and I actually got this for $42 on Amazon.com. So not too far off. I'm not gonna go over the weight and specs, but they weigh basically almost the exact same. And surprisingly, just comparing the height between the two, they are almost the exact. Let that focus a little. Almost the exact same size. The actual frame itself, this is a tiny bit shorter, just because that little bit makes it pretty even. Sorry, rather the Flash one is just a tiny bit shorter. But with the protrusion of the clip, it actually makes them almost identical in height. Now, obviously, another difference when you're carrying it would be width of the knife. So, laying them on top of each other, this one is going to have much more broader profile in your pocket. They are basically the same thickness. You can see that. Sorry, get the clip off there. Basically the same thickness. Right about the same. So I mean, all in all, they're very, very similar in size. Clips, I mean, they both have great clips. I find this tends to be a tiny bit harder to get out of my pocket, but at the same time, you do have that. I'll show you how they would sit if they were in the pocket. This one would show about that much, right? And then the SOG would be completely gone, so about that, right? So you're going to get a little bit sticking out. Now some people may like that, so they can grab that little part here. I personally use my finger and pull up on the clip. This one's harder. I find myself pinching this upward and then pulling it out. So, again, it's a real toss-up. Sure, you can pull this one out faster, but this one conceals better. In my mind, the purpose of these tiny knives is really to be discreet and to kind of be sheeple-friendly, right? You're not going to bring out an Endura when you're at the post office if you're trying to cut a piece of tape or something. These, I find, people don't really bat an eye at. Now, the SOG, obviously, you're going to have this auto assist. The blade comes out really fast. And you have these nice choils here. So it actually does give you a decent amount of grip. Now, again, these are small knives. You're not going to be doing, overly heavy-duty work with them. If you are, right for the job, right? Now, that's not to say that you really couldn't try to stab some harder materials and your hand might slip. But I think kind of both are pretty adequate for, again, their size and the overall intended purpose. Now, with that said, the Dragonfly definitely has a much better purchase. This jimping is fantastic, and the addition of the choil here really gives you a full purchase on the blade. But now you're pretty much forced to use it in this particular fashion. So maybe this might not be as comfortable for you. I don't mind it so much, but the Flash, let's say you're gonna slice something upwards, it's not awkward to turn the knife around. Whereas this, to me, it kind of feels out of place. Like the knife wants to sit this way; it was intended to be that way, due to the design. But I mean, it does work. The biggest difference I see is really the cutting surface. You have two knives, again, both size. I mean, you're size, shape, weight. And you're really just losing cutting edge, which for something this small, that's quite big, because the shorter the edge, the less area surfaces you have to cut. Ergo, the more often you're gonna have to sharpen your knife. Steel would play into this a bit. Obviously, this is VG10; it's a better steel than the SOG. I forget what it is, an 18 HCRMOV or something. Honestly, I don't remember. Regardless, you do get that little bit extra purchase with this one, which is nice. You know, again, they both do open pretty fast. Like I said, this one is assisted opening. This actually opens up faster than like my Delica or one of my Enduras. It opens up almost as fast as something like a Para or you know, like the Tenacious series. But I mean, it opens up really quick, and it's nice. The blade actually drops freely. Sorry, I can't shake it much, but the blade, you know, it doesn't have that typical back lock tension. I mean, it does when it's closed. So that's nice. It keeps it tight in your pocket, but it flips open great. Blade's rock solid, no up or down wiggle. The flash, there's definitely a tiny bit of play in there. Yeah, tiny bit. I probably could tighten this up, get rid of most of it, but I don't know. All in all, what's a better knife? You know, if I was gonna have one, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards the flash. I mean, you're gonna save yourself $10. You could buy whatever you want. Buy a 6-pack. Buy a God knows what. I mean, if you're wondering what this is, I took a Dremel, didn't do a great job cleaning it up, but I really like the Emerson openers, so this is my impression of an Emerson opener, and additionally it doubles as a bottle opener, which it's actually quite functional, and so now you're not just, you know, scratching the handle of your knives up. I don't plan on zip tying this. I usually zip tie most of my Spydercos, but I mean, this is just so small. I don't see the purpose. Again, it's like, well, if you're not going to do that to this one, why did you do it to this one? You know, not really sure. If it was a $30 knife, I really didn't care if I mucked it up. But to be honest, ever since I have done it, I really do use it more so as a bottle opener than anything else, which, albeit whatever, right? Both great knives. Save yourself $10. Go with this one. If you want the better steel, you want the better grip, maybe if your hands aren't, I have about medium-sized hands. If your hands are a tiny bit bigger and you want a small knife, probably go with this, or like a Persistence. If you have smaller to medium-sized hands, I think this will do the job just fine, because you won't feel cheated with the smaller purchase of a grip. I actually kind of like the lock better, because I'm not forced to pull my hand back here. I just push it down, and then to me it's a little bit more of a one-hand opening, whereas this I'd close it and push it against my hip or something to close it. I don't know, both great knives. I'd say bigger hands, go with this one. Smaller hands, go with this one. Want to save some money, obviously go with this one. If you're a fan of Spydercos, you know, whatever. But all in all, thanks, and hope this helped anybody who's trying to decide between these two knives. Take care.